The depths of most of the world's oceans are largely unknown to humans, but a new book argues it is crucial to our survival to change that. The Underworld Journeys to the Depths of the Ocean highlights the stories of scientists and explorers who are working to uncover the sea's mysteries. Author Susan Casey has spent her life studying and exploring the ocean, including going on 2 dives in submersibles. One of them took her more than 3 miles below the surface of the Pacific Ocean, a depth few people have ever traveled. And Susan Casey joins us now.
Yes.
Good morning,
Good
Susan.
morning.
So nice to meet you.
Likewise.
You call those who study the deep sea aquanauts, or they're known as that. You yourself, I guess now one of them as well. It's such a passion for you. But there's so much of the deep sea that we do not know yet. We know a lot about space, but what do we not know, and why is it so important?
Well, if you think of the Earth as a biosphere, it's 98% ocean, and 95% of that 98% is deep ocean. So the water's below 600 feet. So we not only live on an ocean planet, we live on a deep ocean planet. But we've only mapped about 25% of the seafloor at high resolution. So every time they get more maps at high resolution, it's like the Hubble telescope got its lens put on.
Right.
And they find volcanoes. They just find incredible things every time they look closely.
It's incredible. And you talk about the importance. We know, of course, the risks of traveling, and it's, as we saw this summer with the Titan submersible implosion, it comes at great risk to those who put themselves there to study this. But what is the importance of that information, and how could it potentially save our planet?
Well, the Earth works in all kinds of intricate systems interact to create. We've evolved to survive in a certain state of the Earth, and the ocean is such a big part of that, that in a time of global warming and things changing, the status quo that we're used to it's in flux. Yeah. We are going to have to understand how all of these systems work together, and the ocean is I call it the motherboard of the planet, and we really need to know how things are working, and it's complicated. So,
Susan, I want people to understand your passion for the water. Number one, full disclosure, I work with Susan Casey. She used to be editor-in-chief at Oprah Magazine. And after reading your book, and I've known how much you love the ocean, I thought, how are you able to even do an inside day job? Because as a little kid, you said the Pacific Ocean is your playground. Some people want to go to Bora Bora, the Serengeti, or Paris, but you always wanted to go to the abyss. You were obsessed with it even as a child. What was the fascination for you?
I think it was you look at water, and you could see near the surface there would be fish, and it's like you go through that surface and there's a parallel universe down there. It's another world within our world. It's like that dream you have where you go into your house and there are new rooms in your house.
Yeah.
The ocean is just the entire house. So I wanted to know what sort of party is going on down there. There's just so much happening, but we never see it. So curiosity dictates.
Susan, to most people, that is the scariest thing in the world.
Yes.
And you have this deep passion for it,
Yeah.
like Gayle is saying.
Yes.
And along with your curiosity, your education, I do want to know, have there ever been moments where a little bit of fear has set in, or uneasiness, or is it truly just perfectly fine once you're deep sea?
I think with fear, of course, you have moments of fear, but when you're so in awe of what's happening, there's no room for fear in the present moment. So maybe it would come before or after, but just the awesomeness of, seeing this place that has, not that many people have the opportunity to see. And that's really what I wanted to bring back, was the experience. So yeah, it's scary, but it's scary and you don't care because you're having too much fun and it's too awesome.
I know. She says, Nate, that the wonder and fear don't cancel each other out. And my favorite chapter was the Twilight Zone, because you really give us a blow-by-blow of what it was like for you when you go down there. But when you talk about these submersibles, you say they have huge safety records. I mean, that they are considered really very safe vehicles. So when you read and were following the Ocean Gate, what were you thinking? Because now, for most of us, we just think that they're scary and dangerous.
Because of the Titan submersible.
Yes.
What happened?
Yes.
That submersible was such an outlier. Manned submersibles, there aren't that many that can go to that depth. Aside from the one in Titan, there are only 6 others, 6 or 7. And they all have spherical pressure hulls because the sphere is what's going to keep you safe. And everybody in the manned submersible world, it's a very tight-knit, small world, was just kind of terrified of that sub, because it's one thing to be a disruptor, but it's another thing to try to disrupt the laws of physics. You're going to withstand this pressure when you're down there? And the craft has to be built, not just to withstand it, but like 20, 30, 40% more. And it just wasn't. And it's tragic.
It was very tragic. Well, Susan Casey, this is such a great book.
Planning
Thank you for
your
bringing
dive,
us.
Susan Casey?
Yeah.
I know you
As soon
are.
as possible.
Okay.
Gayle wants to go.
We'll be following
No, Gayle
along.
doesn't.
We've had this
We'll watch
conversation.
from afar.
No, Gayle doesn't.
The Underworld goes on sale tomorrow.
But I'm
Sure,
cheering
check
for
it out.
Susan Casey always.